What if I told you there's a place in Europe where you don't just watch movies? You step inside them. A place where the glamour of Hollywood, the artistry of animation, and the thrills of modern blockbusters all come together in one dreamlike world? This isn't Los Angeles, and it isn't Orlando. This is France, where Disney built a park unlike any other, Walt Disney Studios Park. A place where the boundaries between reality and cinema dissolve, and where the magic of filmmaking is woven into every corner. But behind its neon lights and family-friendly rides lies a fascinating story of ambition, reinvention, and secrets hidden in plain sight. Today, we'll step behind the camera, beyond the soundstage, and into the heart of Walt Disney Studios Park. The idea of a second gate in Paris dates back to the opening of Disneyland Paris in 1992. From the beginning, Disney executives dreamed of adding a movie-themed park next door, much like Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida. The goal was bold, to bring the spirit of Hollywood to Europe, celebrating not only Disney's own films, but also the wider world of cinema and television. But the early years of Disneyland Paris were financially troubled. Attendance numbers fell short, debts piled up, and the dream of a second park was delayed for nearly a decade. It wasn't until 2002 that Walt Disney Studios Park finally opened its gates. Unlike its sister park across the way, which brims with castles, fairy tales, and fantasy, Walt Disney Studios was designed to be sleek and industrial, reflecting the world of filmmaking. The entrance itself sets the tone. Instead of a castle, you walk through Studio One, a massive soundstage designed like a working Hollywood set. On the outside, it looks like a plain warehouse, but inside, it transforms into a lively indoor street. Neon signs glow, vintage cars sit parked under palm trees, and the facades mimic old Los Angeles. You feel as if you've stepped into the golden age of Hollywood, except this Hollywood exists under a roof in France. It's both surreal and enchanting, a reminder that nothing here is quite what it seems. In its early years, the park faced criticism for being too small and too sparse. There were few rides, limited theming, and large stretches of open concrete. Some visitors joked it felt more like a film studio tour than a theme park. But over time, Disney poured creativity and investment into transforming Walt Disney Studios into a park full of immersive lands, cinematic adventures, and detailed storytelling. Today, it has become one of the most fascinating Disney parks, not because it was perfect from the start, but because it evolved into something far more ambitious than anyone expected. Walking deeper into the park, you arrive at the front lot and production courtyard, areas that celebrate the art of filmmaking. Here, the Eiffel Tower once stood tall, a water tower with Mickey ears, echoing the iconic symbol from Florida's Hollywood studios. It was never a working tower, but it quickly became one of the park's beloved icons until its removal in 2016. Today, the Chinese theater-style buildings, Art Deco facades, and film-themed details still give the area its Hollywood flair. Hidden among the signage are tributes to Imagineers and filmmakers, subtle nods that most guests walk past without noticing. One of the park's first headline attractions was Ciné Magique, a stage show that combined live performance with film clips. Guests watched as a man from the audience was pulled into the movie screen and suddenly found himself interacting with famous moments from film history, running through westerns, romances, comedies, and epic adventures. It was a clever love letter to cinema itself and became a fan favorite. Though it closed in 2017, its spirit still lingers, remembered as one of the park's most original creations. Just nearby was another early highlight, Animagique, a blacklight musical featuring Donald Duck and friends exploring the world of animation. The show celebrated Disney's animated legacy with colorful puppetry, dazzling effects, and beloved songs. Both Animagique and Cinemagique were part of Disney's strategy to make live shows central to the park's identity, something that distinguished it from other Disney resorts. As the park expanded, it introduced more ambitious rides, each one pulling guests into cinematic universes. In 2007, Crush's Coaster opened, a spinning roller coaster themed to Finding Nemo. Unlike most Disney family rides, this coaster combined whimsical storytelling with surprisingly intense thrills. Guests climb into turtle shell-shaped ride vehicles, spin through ocean currents, and encounter Nemo, Dory, and even Bruce the shark along the way. To this day, it remains one of the park's most popular attractions, with lines stretching long before opening. Towering above the park is the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, which arrived in 2007 as part of the studio's first major expansion. Its looming silhouette dominates the skyline, a crumbling Hollywood hotel frozen in time. The eerie lobby, the flickering lights, the unsettling atmosphere, it all builds up to the moment you board the elevator and plummet into the abyss. In Paris, the attraction eventually received a unique storyline twist, turning into the Twilight Zone, a new dimension of chills. With 3 different possible narrative paths, adding an extra layer of unpredictability to an already legendary ride. But perhaps the most transformative addition came in 2014, when Ratatouille, the adventure, opened in a brand new area themed after the streets of Paris. For the first time, guests weren't just walking into Hollywood or animation, they were stepping into a Pixar film. Using trackless ride technology and 3D projections, Ratatouille shrinks guests down to the size of Remy the rat, who guides them through oversized kitchens, bustling dining rooms, and dangerous chases. Outside, a recreation of Gusteau's restaurant and Parisian streets adds to the immersion. The attraction was such a success that it was later cloned at Epcot in Florida. Ratatouille marked a turning point for Walt Disney Studios Park. It proved the park could create not just shows and rides, but fully realized worlds. In recent years, the park has undergone an even bigger transformation. Disney committed to a massive multi-year expansion that would nearly double the size of the park, adding entire new lands based on some of the company's biggest franchises. In 2022, Avengers Campus officially opened, replacing the park's old backlot area. Here, guests step into the world of Marvel superheroes, meeting Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain Marvel, and more. The land's attractions include Spider-Man WEB Adventure, where guests use gesture tracking technology to sling virtual webs at rampaging spider-bots, and Avengers Assemble Flight Force, a high-speed roller coaster featuring Iron Man and Captain Marvel. The land is alive with street performances, superhero training sessions, and surprise battles breaking out around you. It's not just a set, it's a living comic book. And more is on the horizon. Construction is underway for a massive Frozen-themed land, which will recreate the Kingdom of Arendelle, complete with Elsa's ice palace towering over a shimmering lake. Another Star Wars-themed area is also planned, bringing Batuu to Paris, just as it exists in Florida and California. These expansions will transform Walt Disney Studios into a park of immersive lands, where guests can wander seamlessly from the streets of Paris to the snowy mountains of Arendelle to galaxies far, far away. But even as the park evolves, its soul remains tied to the art of storytelling. Every ride, every building, every hidden detail is designed to remind you of the magic of cinema. For example, the lampposts in certain areas are modeled after vintage Parisian film equipment. The floor tiles in Animation Celebration are designed like reels of film. Even the background music across the park shifts subtly, evoking jazz, orchestral scores, or cinematic suspense depending on where you walk. Perhaps the greatest mystery of Walt Disney Studios Park is how it continues to reinvent itself. Unlike Disneyland, which opened as a nearly perfect vision in 1955, this park began modestly, even controversially. Yet its story mirrors that of many films. It began with struggle, faced its critics, and then slowly transformed into something remarkable. Today, it stands as one of Disney's most dynamic parks, still growing, still changing, still rewriting its own script. So what is Walt Disney Studios Park really? Is it a Hollywood tribute on European soil? A Pixar playground? A Marvel training ground? Or a kingdom of frozen fantasy soon to come? The answer is all of these and more. It is a place that celebrates not just the magic of movies, but the power of reinvention. A place that proves, even when the spotlight fades and the critics doubt, the story isn't over. It's just beginning a new act. And when you walk through its gates, you're not just a guest. You become part of that story. Because in Walt Disney Studios Park, the reel never ends. The lights never fully dim, and the magic of cinema, like the park itself, keeps playing, scene after scene, forever.